So, another week, another episode of Fuuto. Brandon, are you ready to break away?
I'm very disappointed that I'm still in this basement that you put me in.
Come on, I set up decorations.
Yes, but every single one is Kamen Rider themed.
Come on, the green and the black go well together. Oh my
Look,
god.
Half the room is green and I can see that half. I can't see shit on the black side. It's all black.
I just realized something, and they may not have been going for this, but Phillip and Shotaro's masks are blue and gold, which is Luna Trigger.
I wonder if that's a hint that they're going to use that.
Maybe. It would have been a nice touch if they had green and black masks to be Cyclone Joker, but...
I mean, I think that's a little too on the nose. Also, I would like to bring up the fact that they're very much not hiding who they are. Still
no.
The Dopant got away. The Dopant knows who you are, so unless the Dopant dies, they could just rat you out.
Yes.
To, whatever evil organization they're a part of.
Right. Or if we're right with our theory, the evil organization already knows who they are.
Oh, they're very aware. Like, if they weren't before, they know now. Bondo's there and he sees shit. He knows exactly what's going on.
Hey, Bondo, I know who the Kamen Rider is. Oh, really?
They don't need to tell him. He's there. He saw it.
Wow.
More than once.
Wow, you know too. Good for you.
Congratulations. You have finally reached my level 2 episodes ago.
And I am just a little bit disappointed we forgot to talk about this last time. But
what did we miss?
Bondo says, "Oh, I always heard that memories are drawn to each other."
Oh shit. Did he actually say that? Like, did he say that to anyone?
No, he said it to himself. As he was walking down the hall.
Oh, you know what? Yes, okay, now that sticks out. I mean, yes, you say that, but I mean, we're working off of stand logic here, clearly.
That could have been a reference to his voice actor, who I did not realize.
Oh?
Bondo is voiced by Daisuke Ono, who voices Jotaro.
God damn it.
I did not even realize that.
I did not. That is a completely different voice. I did not recognize it whatsoever.
JoJo is in this anime.
Look, there's not enough aura, alright? We need more aura. Wait, hold on. Let me rewind this for a second. I've just made a realization.
Aura.
No, and shut up.
Yes!
What I've realized is that if Jotaro is in fact Bondo, does that mean Shotaro and Phillip are going to summon the world?
I don't want to exactly say no.
Did I call something stupid without ever even realizing it?
A little bit.
Oh my fucking god, they're going to stop time. What the shit?
No.
They're going to pause time?
No, you said, by saying the world, and I'm guessing the fact that they brought out Fang last arc, brought out Excel in this episode, I'm guessing they'll use their final form next episode, and this is just a guess on my part, and their final form has the power of the true Gaia memory, which has the power of the Earth itself.
What does that mean by has the power of the true Gaia memory?
It's where, all Gaia memories originate from. Like I said, I haven't seen all of the series, so I don't know enough about about the true Gaia memory, but
So I'm trying to at least comprehend with what little you do have and are giving me.
yeah.
Does that mean it's the original that all the others are derived from?
I'm guessing this is like I'm just guessing here, like a pool of energy, and everything is drawn out of this pool of energy to make individual memories itself.
That makes it feel like to me that it literally has all the powers, and why would you ever not use it?
Um,
Like, that's just based on what you're telling me. I'm sure there's probably some kind of drawback the way Fang is, but like, other than that, like, barring something like that, why would you ever not use it?
it was discovered by the main villain of the original series. After finding it, his son Raito to see it, who died falling into the fountain, quote unquote, but is then resurrected by the Gaia Memory Avatar. It is basically the consciousness of the Earth itself.
Hey, that doesn't answer my question yet.
And their final form is derived from the true Gaia memory rather than a fragment of it.
So yeah, they're pulling the power from the original rather than like a spin-off, essentially, like you're saying.
Right, kind of.
Again, not answering my question as to like why you would never not use it, why you would ever use something else. Because again, so far I don't know what it does when they have it, but it sounds like it's super overpowered, and there's no reason not to use it at this point.
Oh, and speaking about overpowered, when we get later on.
Also, sorry, before this, one more thing to add about this like original Gaia memory.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be able to just siphon up whatever other Gaia memory is around?
I am...
Like, reabsorb the power that it put out?
I am not too sure for it, but, like, the villain group wanted to use this for their own evil end goal to, if I remember correctly when I was reading about it, basically Third Impact.
They just want to unite all consciousness.
Yes, with the Gaia memory. Like that.
For what? I know you don't probably know, but like, what purpose would that serve them?
I don't know, but I know like that was the villain's end goal to like somehow activate the true Gaia memory and make everybody one with the Earth in a form called Gaia. Wait, oh my god, is it called Gaia Impact? Yes, it's called Gaia Impact. What the hell?
For fuck's sake. Did you really have to be that on the nose with your reference? Really?
Okay.
I don't believe for a second that that's not a reference.
You know, I can totally agree with you.
You didn't have to be that on the nose, guys. Come on. You're better than this.
Hey, maybe he was a fan of Evangelion.
I don't care. Again, that's too on the nose. You're not being clever. You're just being blatant. Like, you're a better writer than that. At least I hope you are.
Yeah. So, Kana is sneaking around the mansion in a daze.
By the way, I realized watching this, every single person in here starts with a K. I don't think I mentioned that last week.
Yeah, I realized that this time around too.
Because I didn't, like, the names didn't stick and the idea didn't come to me until we were in that episode.
Yeah, and she's like, I don't know what I'm doing here. What's going on? Which is very mysterious.
Well, to me, my first thought is, oh, you're blackout drunk. And then my next thought is, this feels like a really massive red herring. It's too easy.
Yeah.
Which I was right. Without revealing quite yet, I was correct. It was too easy.
Yeah, and Kui is not just normal rich, he's ultra mega rich, with paintings worth 100 millions of yen each.
I mean, I feel like that was applied enough in the previous episode. I don't think that was too big of a shocker.
Yeah, but Kai is there saying, like, hey, I'm just going to seduce him with my feminine charm so I can have all that
Shocker!
money.
Totally something she was already planning to do in the previous episode.
And I'm just like, with that little boob flick, I'm like, you can just slut your way into him, aren't you?
You didn't pick that up from the last episode? That's the way she was talking the whole time.
Yeah, but I'm just like, come on, you have to be a little better than. No, you're not better than this.
Of course not. There's got to be the slut character.
Yeah.
There's always going to be that character in a situation like this. There's going to be the one that uses their looks, doesn't matter what the hell else they got. That's gonna be their go-to.
Yeah. So, Philip is saying that, hey, it's a good thing you're noticing these things because human perception isn't my 100% forte.
I believe the term he uses is more along the lines of, like, reading people. He's not good at reading people.
And Shotaro isn't that good with, like, all the logical actions of, the logical thinking of, oh, he's behaving this way. That means he's suspicious in XYZ.
I mean, Shotaro doesn't have a fucking library in his brain, so,
So they need to rely on each other more than ever to fill in each other's gaps.
I mean, I gotta be honest, this episode didn't really demonstrate that much, in my opinion.
Right.
I feel like they were just doing the same thing they have been.
But they made it sound, well, like, Shotaro made it sound like this is a bigger mystery than one of their normal cases.
I know, but the show don't tell that you usually have for a situation like this is not very clear. They don't really show it too much.
Right.
A lot of it is just, we gotta work harder than ever. We're not gonna show you how we do that, but just trust us, we're totally doing that.
So how did you feel the cut to the theme song with, like, the clock striking 1 and then somebody screaming?
I mean, it was good. It's a bit of a tropey choice, but it works.
I just find it a little bit better than some of the lead-ins to the theme than we usually have.
I mean, again, there's a reason it's a trope. It works.
Yeah. So it finds out that Kai's dead.
Yep, Blondie's dead.
I was not expecting this early into the episode.
Yeah, I was thinking we were going to get like halfway through and then the next one was going to show up. I was definitely not expecting like, oh cool, first episode is like a minute in, we've already got the next dead character. Nice. Was not ready for that.
Yeah, and she died in the tub.
She did die in the tub. The redheaded Chinese girl, or not the redheaded, silver-haired Chinese dress girl was like, oh my god, he's a dead person, ah! And I'm just sitting there like, again, this is too easy. It's definitely not her. It is way too easy.
I suspected her for just, like, about a minute until Philip sees Kai and says, like, oh, that's fascinating. And I'm like, wait a minute, there must be something more to this. What's going on here?
See, here's where I was at with that, because I saw that like after he picks up the body from out of the pool, right? I'm sitting there and I'm like, wait a minute. And I had to go back to be like, what specifically is there? And my thought was, there's something wrong with her chest, because that's where all like the sauna steam is at to hide all the jiggly bits.
Yes.
So I'm like, is it the way she died? Like, are they hiding the wound that killed her? Like, I was trying to figure it out. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Because he, like, wades his way into the tub, and my first thought was, before he picked up the body, was like, oh shit, did someone replace the tub with alcohol or something, and that's what killed her in some way?
Because Philip said, like, I smell alcohol when he comes in.
That was the other thing. I'm like, is the entire tub replaced with alcohol? And it killed her just from, like, the overdose of it seeping into her skin.
Ooh.
Because, I mean, that would be a way to do it. and have that kind of spoiler alert. The thing that Philip's talking about is the face that she has, like the facial expression.
Yeah.
That would explain the facial expression. Because, depending on how long she's in here, her body's soaking in the alcohol. It's getting into her system. All her pores are opened up in the heated, area of the baths.
Yeah.
But no, that was not it.
So
I did not think the facial expression was going to be as important as a giveaway as it was for whatever happens.
Yeah. So they notice Kana isn't around.
Yep, Kana's the only one not there. Also, she doesn't remember, supposedly at least, in this case, she doesn't remember what happened. Again, still think that would be too easy, which it was.
So Philip says, like, Shotaro, call everybody.
Oh, also
Yes.
I forgot to point out, when Shotaro and Phillip were talking originally about working together, Shotaro basically was like, I'm ruling out Kana. It's not her.
Yeah.
I just got this feeling, the way she acted, she's acting like one of our like the way our clients usually are. She's not the one.
Yeah, she just seems too innocent through the actions they saw. So everybody gets called down to the dining room, was it?
I think so. I think it was the dining room they were in.
Yeah. And they were saying, like, somebody's going to die every night.
And Shotaro was like, no, that's not going to happen while I'm here.
Yeah, I'll make sure nobody dies on my watch, even though 2 people already died.
Yeah, you're a little late, Shotaro.
Yeah, the 2 girls start bitching at each other.
Classic girl band. Well, I mean, it's only Kana and the silver-haired one. Or did we, rewind for a second?
No.
So yeah, it's only those 2. She's like berating Kana or something, and Kana's just like, eh.
I wrote her name down, but I forget.
I think it's Kay or Kai. Isn't this one Kai?
No, Kai was the blonde one.
What was her name? Kuya, not Kuya. Kuya's the guy.
Kurumi,
that was her name?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Kurumi. Anyway, you were saying
that Kurumi was just like bitching with Kay about not with Kay. Now I'm mixing up the girls.
Kana.
Yeah, with Kana, it's like shit. I lost my train of thought there.
First K was fighting with the other K, and then that K was fighting with the other K that's already dead.
Yeah,
so many Ks.
Yeah, shit. I just lost my train of thought there.
Yeah, they bitch and moan at each other. Well, one bitches at the other one just kind of takes it because submissive.
Yeah.
Next day rolls around. All of a sudden, Kana's gone.
No,
She's left.
You forgot that. You forgot something right before that.
Is it something to do with Bondo?
Actually, with Ryu, Philip finally has reception.
Oh, right. We're calling in backup. That's right.
Yeah. And he says, like, hey, try not to get the police involved, okay? Just come with your wife and Tokime.
He literally says no police.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Philip thinks he has what he needs to solve the case.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the rebel Gary. Now you know how big it is.
Well, I also realized why there was no way you could fucking tell, because the whole thing is literally split in half and flattened out.
Yeah, put in pieces as it's getting ready to drive away.
Which I still think it's stupid. You're not hiding who you are.
Right.
Big old massive fuck off Kamen Rider head tank.
Yep.
You're telling me people aren't noticing that thing keeps coming out of there?
Although Shotaro says that it definitely can't be Kana, he's not sure who it is, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, they both suspected Kai, but now that Kai's dead, that leaves the possibility open to anybody.
She was the obvious red herring of, she's the angry one, so it's probably gonna be her. And then it's not her. Big red herring.
Yeah.
Big old pup named Scooby-Doo red herring.
Crap. Jones, why are you always suspecting me?
Exactly. Because his name is literally red herring.
But wasn't there one episode where he's like, I'm not going to suspect him, I need to stop doing this, and it wound up to be him?
Yeah, but I think it was something really petty. It wasn't something that was serious in any way,
Right.
like I usually get into.
Yeah. So, Tokime is just following the Rebel Garys as it's plowing through the snow, and she's like, I'm getting this really uneasy feeling.
Question, what do you think that feeling is about? Is it because Bondo's nearby? Or is it something else?
Maybe it's because she still has that feeling at the end of the episode, so...
Yeah, but how far did Bondo really walk?
Right, so, yeah, maybe she's half reacting to Bondo. Ooh, yeah, maybe.
Because he only just started walking away, at least based on what we're seeing. It's hard to tell time exactly, but it seems like he had just walked away, maybe, I'm going to guess around 15-20 minutes of them fighting the...
Masquerade.
I was gonna go with cannon fodder, but sure.
And actually, we're jumping just around a little bit. Them plowing through the snow happened on day 3, and day 4 is when the weather died down and when they got there.
I mean, it's also, when they are talking about the plan or whatever, or confronting everyone when the girl died or whatever.
That was day 3.
Yeah.
Right.
That's when they get the call. That's when they come in. Day 4 is when they start digging their way through.
Day 3 was when they were, according to my timeline notes, they're digging through the snow will start to dig through the snow on day 3. Tokime feels uneasy. Day 4, weather returns to normal.
Didn't they get reception when the weather returned to normal?
Before that.
I thought it was at the same time.
According to my notes.
So why would they suddenly get reception when the storm's still brewing? How would that make any sense?
Maybe the storm was starting to let up the night of day 3 and then day 4.
I don't know. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Okay.
I'll concede that I could be wrong, but that doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
I'm just reading my notes.
Doesn't mean they're right, but fair.
Okay. So Kana quits and runs away.
Left a note. Here was something I had a problem with, alright?
Yes.
It's like, oh, she left this note behind, and she's gone, right? And then the next scene we get is, what's her name? Kurumi? Confronting her out in the woods. And I'm just like, wait, what? How'd you find her? She left the note before you how would you have gotten to her in time?
Run?
But you got ahead of her. How'd you get there?
I don't know.
Even if you are the Dopant, you're not a fast Dopant.
Right. And
even then, right? Even then, when we find out that it's not actually Kana that's there, but Phillip, how the fuck did he get there? He was in the room when they announced that the fucking letter was found.
I went back. He was not.
I could have sworn he was there.
No, he was not.
Him not being there makes it even more suspicious than for everyone else not to notice that. But then, that also leads to how the fuck did Kurumi find Kana / Phillip out there?
Right.
When she was supposed to have left way earlier.
But
the way it's delivered, it sounds like, oh, she left in the middle of the night.
But Kurumi pulls out the alcohol memory.
Yes. And then, all of a sudden, Kana Phillip kicks it and reveals himself to be the trap that he truly is.
Although I cross-dress sometimes, I don't actually enjoy it.
I don't know if Shotaro seems to enjoy it in the little like cut between of him prepping him.
Well,
In which case, that lends a whole new credence to the whole boys can have relationships. Now, doesn't it?
well, maybe I crossed this because of my body frame.
Like, seriously, adds a whole new level to that.
So we find out that this is a big human experimentation using memories.
Time for massive exposition. Hope you're ready.
Yeah. So it seems that all 4 of the candidates were the alcohol dopant at one point.
Also, interesting to note that since they all have their injection point at the same place, it isn't natural. Someone had to have, like, implanted them with it. Which makes me wonder, did they remove the other one, like the natural one they would have? Or does it just not appear if you're not compatible with the memory?
No, remember Shotaro said to get I'm just going to say junction point. I know that's probably the wrong term, but you would need to be poked with a device.
Weird, because if I remember right, when we saw what's-his-face getting, not Road, whatever the other one was that he had, the mushroom one, that dude, he already had the injection point when they handed it to him to try and test. Like, remember, they just pulled him off the street. How did he have one then? I believe his intent, the way he was saying it, it was in reference to the fact that they're all in the exact same place. Not that you just have one in general.
Right. But
Which, again, makes me wonder where the natural point would be on them, unless that was removed.
There is no natural point. Like, to become a dopant, you must first have that injection point added to your body.
So then again, that doesn't explain how Mr. Mushroom Boy would have gotten his dopant memory injection point to begin with.
Maybe they didn't show you injecting.
Kind of just pulled him off the street though from the fair that he was at. Like that was what his flashback was.
I will have to go back and watch that flashback.
Because, like, again, he was pulled off the street, and they're like, oh man, the way they get you hooked is they give you a little sample, and then they let you go. And that doesn't make it sound like they need to fucking experiment on you to make you have an injection point naturally. So either one, they've done a very poor job of explaining this, which is possible. Or two, someone's wrong here, and it's either you or me.
Because I know all the... And I could be wrong here, because I've just seen, like, video clips of this, but it seems all the dopants have an injection point in a different...
They're all in different places, which is why I thought it was the natural thing, right? Like, you naturally, when you interact with one, your injection point appears. Like, you naturally have a place there it would be injected in. Right? Like, that's just the natural reaction. It develops or whatever when you get close, like when you interact with a memory or something.
Yeah.
Right? That's the way I had taken it, because there had been nothing else until this point saying otherwise. And when he says something about it being, like, all in the same spot, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. It wouldn't be natural for them to be in, the exact same spot. My only other thought would have been, and he doesn't say this outright, so I kind of discredited it, was the idea of, like, maybe for a memory, the memory always has an injection point in this area for this specific memory, right? Like, alcohol would always be on the head, if Fang was still wild, it would always be on, like, the thigh or something like that.
Maybe.
But the way Shotaro talks here, that doesn't sound like it's the case. It sounds like because they're all in the same part, it's not natural, that everyone's place is unique.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that. So yeah, we find out that Kana was the first person to have it, except she wasn't that compatible with it, and basically passed out drunk, and that's why she doesn't.
Here's one of the things I was curious about, right? Because the way it's displayed, when we see it like this, it also almost seems like the alcohol memory kind of has a mind of its own. Like, it almost seems like it takes possession of the person who touches it, or like after the dopant disappears.
Kind of.
Because like their sclera, the white part of the eye goes black, and they like go to pick it up, like they're kind of obsessed with it already without even touching it. Because I mean, what normal person is going to be like, I want that, after literally just being harassed by a monster, unless they were exposed to it prior to this, which I think might have also been implied that they had been exposed to the alcohol memory prior.
Yeah, and maybe like during phase 1 of the human experiment, where, and I'm guessing they were all like passed out or something, and they got their injection point, and they were like subjected to it for like a few seconds each of them to have like the addiction starting on them.
Yeah, which would kind of bring around the idea of them why they would want it, even though they just saw a monster they don't understand.
Yeah.
My kind of assumption, if we're going down that route, is that the original alcohol dopant, which, shocker, there's more than one, was using like its abilities to make that person blackout drunk, like the way Kana is, where she can't remember. That would be the way I would take it for this to work, unless there's, a completely other dopant working in here too.
Yeah. And then Philip and Shotaro get attacked by what seems to be masquerade dopants, except
For cannon fodder.
I'm just going to call them masquerade dopants until we find out what they actually are called, because I've seen enough.
Keep calling them and I'll keep calling them fodder until never. They will stay fodder forever.
Yeah, because the masquerade dopants didn't have the ribcage like design on their chest.
They had like suit or something when you showed me, right?
Yeah, they wore suits and dress pants with like luchador skull masks on. This seems to be a little bit more akin to the Shocker troops from the original 1971 Kamen Rider. So, I'm not too sure if these are Masquerade 2.0 or what. But yeah, they're still basically cannon fodder.
They are fodder. And freaking useless. I mean, they're dopants that Shotaro and Phillip can just kind of manhandle themselves, even in vast numbers.
Yeah, and apparently, when a masquerade dopant dies, its user also dies too.
Well, I mean, there's not much left of them based on what Tokime says.
Yeah.
If there was anything to begin with. The way they make it sound almost, and I could obviously be wrong here, but this is also a new thing for you. They're not the typical one.
No.
It almost sounds like they might be a creation of another dopant.
Ooh, wait.
Actually, it might be that skeletal dinosaur.
I was just thinking that. I was just going to say that.
I took it from you.
Okay, then let's just call them bone dopants.
I'm just gonna keep going with cannon fodder because it's fun.
Okay, cannon. I'm just.
All right, you know what? Here, we'll compromise. Bone fodder.
Okay, the bone fodder dopants.
There we go.
Yeah. Cut back to the tunnel, and Rebel Gary's finally done digging through, and Ryu says, "Hey, Tokime, come with me. Oh, by the way, when I give you the signal, climb on."
Actually, wasn't it his wife that said it? That she should go with him because she can sense the stuff?
Oh, yes.
What's her name again? It starts with an A.
Akeko.
Akane? Akeko.
Yes.
I think I called her Akane before.
Yes, and she's like, climb on? What do you mean?
And then it's like, holy shit, he is a bike. She wasn't wrong.
Yeah. So what do you think of his design?
I mean, I was expecting it to be a crazier transformation. As far as like from common writer to common writey.
Uh-huh.
I was expecting a little bit more drastic. But no, it's just all of a sudden I am a human wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
But I have legs, but my legs also have a wheel.
And as we were like discussing all like the armor designs when they popped up. So like, you like the red on XL,
It's nice.
and okay,
I kind of wish he also had a scarf.
hmm.
Some kind of extra accessory would be nice.
Okay, so like the wheel on his back isn't good enough.
I mean, I don't think it draws enough of a clash with the red, right? It's
Okay,
got just the gray to it.
okay,
I think you need a harder clash, like the white as a completely bright color against the darker green and black works. The like gunmetal gray on the red isn't as much of a clash to it.
okay,
I would have had something else added in there. I don't know what I would have added off the top of my head just yet, but I would have probably added something. The only problem is making that something work with his whole transformation into a bike. Maybe chains, like bike chains or something. Like make those a more silver. Actually, you know what? If they would have made it a more silvery color than a gunmetal color, that might have worked better.
okay.
That would have given you like the bigger clash between the red. Either that or just straight black, because red can kind of flip. It's kind of like a medium color in my head, where either you need a really bright, a bright secondary color or a really dark secondary color, like how red and black really work well together in general.
Okay.
But
And,
a red and silver would also work well.
and just bouncing back to how do people get the
Injection point?
injection point? Using Gaia memories directly with the human body will result with the host becoming a dopant. This is done by inserting the memory into a USB port-like tattoo called the living connector, which said tattoo is produced when using the LCOG, or living connector setting operation gun. So this thing is put on somebody's skin, giving them a connection point.
So they're not very clear on how they did it with Mr. Mushroom then.
No. But basically, it's like, hey, when you become a dopant, where do you want your tattoo?
So then, like, Shotaro's argument of, like, oh, this is human experimentation because you all have it in the same place, doesn't really make a lot of sense. Because they all could have just gotten it there if they wanted to.
Maybe?
Like, the argument then doesn't work.
Right.
I don't
So,
know, they're clashing their lore, man. You don't clash the lore.
so Excel's, or Axel, because it's ACCEL, like acceleration.
Yeah, Excel.
Yeah.
I've not been saying it otherwise, I don't think.
Okay, I think I'm more saying like Excel, like
Excel Saga.
EXCEL. Yes, or to like succeed at something to excel, but it's Axel. Yeah, just a very minor emphasis on, yeah.
Just call it Axel, like AXEL.
Yeah. He says, like, Philip, Shotaro, you go after the main culprit, I'll stay here with the cannon fodder.
Yep. Find the original Alcohol Dopant, because apparently... So I'm curious... Well, you know what? No, that's right. Because the memory itself gets called back to the original user.
Right.
Which, kind of confirms that it's not Bondo.
Right.
Like, Bondo has already given it out. He doesn't have a control of it right now.
Oh, right before he tells them to leave, we get to see the Scream Dopant.
Yay! And it sounds like it's a... The way it talks, it sounds like it's a schoolgirl.
We do see her in the opening, and she has a gothic Lolita style to her dress.
Yep, but that didn't really confirm one way or another, like, age. She's too shadowed to really see that, and you could wear that at any age, honestly.
Right.
Unless you're an old lady.
But did you see her right hand? Like, her middle finger on her right hand has to be at least, like, 3 feet long.
I mean, I was more interested in the fact that her legs kind of turn into, like, a weird ghost tail at certain points.
Yeah, but
and she kind of looks stitched together more than I first thought.
Yeah, but it seems that her left hand is normal, but, like, 3 of her fingers on her right hand are, like, super extended, so I don't know if that does anything with, like, her dopant power of, like, generating frequency waves?
I was gonna say, we also don't know what a high dopant is, which I assume she is one.
Right.
We don't know what that means as far as evolving their power set.
And they were saying, look at that, Philip. She's wearing a belt I don't recognize. Could this be a new enemy organization?
So it's a new belt, as you say.
Mm-hmm.
It is not the same style as whatever Museum had going on.
I believe Museum was more of a top loader.
And I couldn't really tell on that belt where it was getting loaded in. Was it the side?
Yeah, because
it looked like it had 2 entry points when I was looking at it.
Oh.
Like it had one on either side, it almost looked like.
Oh, no. Maybe Museum 2, or whatever their actual name is like, hey, that Kamen Rider double, he can have 2 memories at once. Why don't we do that too? Oh, no. So, maybe the secondary port is to buffer the power with, or augment would be a better choice of words, to, like, augment something onto the power.
I'm looking at this close-up of the belt here. I can't tell for sure. It does look like it might have 2 ports, but like it's also kind of covered by the flappiness of her like stitched together body.
If you're right, that could be very interesting.
Combo, and well, then the question then becomes, how much variety does each of them have? Right?
Yeah. I'm saying, if you are right and there's 2 entry points, we've only seen, like, Scream, Brachio, and Aurora, not, like, Aurora something. So I'm guessing maybe the second one is an augment point, and since Magma was, I told you about, maybe it can be Scream Magma, and she gains, like, fire abilities. So, yeah, we find out she has hypersonic screams, and Ryu is saying, oh, all I need to do is outrun that. And
literally, I'm looking at that, and I'm just like, oh, I know what he's going to do. He's got a gear shift, especially when it goes, oh, time trial. So, speed. Like, my brain immediately went to, like, it's a gear shift. It's speed.
Right, and one interesting thing about that is, and I know when it comes to Kamen Rider fighting statistics, those numbers really don't matter. Like, let me just pull this up here. Okay, according to his official rider statistics, when he's in trial, he is punching and kicking is a quarter of his strength as he is in base form. But his speed...
So, he's sacrificing one stat for another.
Yeah, but basically, for most of form progression, they're all really take a small tick up in abilities, but granted their speed might not be as drastic, but this is one of the only rider forms I know that actually gets weaker as you move up the form scale.
I mean, I'm curious how well that's going to work against Shriek in general. Why she can't hit him, he can't really hit her hard.
Just say, like, numbers don't really matter, but...
Oh, I know.
Yeah, in his base form, he has a punching power of 10 tons.
So it's only 2.5 now.
Yep. And, wow, his speed increases. His maximum speed in base form, 100 meters in about 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
When he goes trial, 100 meters in 0.27 seconds.
Oh, there you go. Just gotta move faster than the speed of sound.
Yeah.
It's a good thing the Z Fighters have passed that well beyond that.
Instant transmission.
I wasn't even counting instant transmission, just their regular fighting speed. You can't even follow it with your eyes that well.
Right.
Because they're just disappearing.
And during I'm not too sure if it was at the tail end of the series or after the series, because it's an EX figure, you could get I think we're called Sofa Bee? I don't know, but they're the basic cheap end of figures, but you could get his yellow signal form.
Okay, what does that one do?
It's that one thing that he just changed over for a quick second before he went to trial.
Okay, but that doesn't tell me what it does.
It doesn't do anything, basically.
Oh, it's just in between. Okay.
Yeah, it's just an in between for Excel to trial. He turns yellow for like a second for whatever reason, and
well, you got the red, then you got the yellow, then you go.
Yeah, so I just found it interesting that even though it appears on screen for a second or maybe two, they decided, hey, let's make a figure out of this.
Look, you know what I'm saying, man? That should totally be a time stop power. Or at least a time slow.
Maybe?
I mean, yellow means you need to slow down, so
Yeah.
slow down time a little bit.
So he gives his catchphrase, and they cut back to...
Wait, no he doesn't.
Despair waits for you at the finish line.
He didn't give his actual catchphrase, which was "Don't question me."
When he's fighting, despair waits for you at the finish line is his catchphrase.
You told me his catchphrase was "Don't question me."
I said that's a catchphrase.
Whoa. I'd like to debate that, sir.
Okay.
Roll back the tape. I'm pretty sure you said that was his catchphrase.
Oh. Okay.
Now you're telling me he has more than one. I feel betrayed.
Phillips is fascinating.
Yeah, it's hard to miss that one.
And Bono's is yare yare.
Yare does it.
I
thought it was ora.
So we head into the mansion, and Tokume's like, oh no, this is really bad. I'm feeling a lot of danger in here. And then they go into the main hall. Oh, so it was you this whole time.
My spidey sense is screaming. All right, so based on what we can see, which is very little considering there's a bright light going on, it looks like it's Kai or Caillou or whatever the dude's name is, but he's like walking up those steps toward what I believe his grandmother was sitting on.
Yes.
So I'm leaning toward it still being his grandmother.
Yes.
And my thought is, I'm going to pick out the best wife for you. Well, then again, they're doing experimentation, so the original idea might not be accurate.
Yeah.
Well, correct on who, I think, but not correct on the why.
Yeah, I think last time we were saying that maybe the grandmother, and this was before we knew there were multiple users of it, we were saying the grandmother was killing off people she was deeming not worthy.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, part of it was the fact that we know the way that Konda, or whatever his name is, I'm completely blanking on it at this point, whatever his name was acting, because he's like, oh, I'll just take, the whatever temptress I fancy the most,
Kuya.
or whatever. Kuya. And it's like, well, that's not a way to find a marriage. And if your grandmother's in, like, with the old ways, the way it sounds, she's not going to like that idea. Like, you're not taking this seriously, so she's going to make the decision for you, maybe. But if that's not the case, and this is experimentation, that means Kuya might well be involved in this with a secondary dopant.
Or my guess was, I know, like, the And
Sorry, go ahead.
I know the trope is the butler did it. What if Kuya is completely innocent and the butler is somehow involved?
I mean, he's been serving the family since he was like a teenager or whatever. That means he was probably serving the grandmother first, so it wouldn't shock me
Yeah,
if like she strung him into this.
So I'm going to change it up slightly by saying Kuya is innocent. It is still the grandmother. I'm going to add a slight caveat that the butler is involved somehow. Whether that was my original thought last week of him secretly following around and spying on the candidates, saying, "Oh yes, girl number 4 was seen doing this." Maybe
I'm in on that as him, like, even if he's not a dopant, as like being the spy to give the grandmother the idea. Yeah, no, I wouldn't argue that. That's totally possible.
yeah, I was saying like maybe he would be telling the grandmother things. Now I'm just a little bit saying.
I think when you first initially said it, I think I took it as like, oh, the butler's the dopant, and I disagreed with that.
Okay.
If you're saying that he's just like, you know, a second pair of eyes and ears or something along those lines, yeah, I'm down with that idea.
I think I was half leaning about that last time, but I wasn't 100% sure. But now I'm more or less saying, yes, this is what I believe is happening, that the butler is involved in some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
And Kuya is completely innocent to this, and I'm not too sure if he'll be betrayed by his grandmother and maybe like, this is all dirty money now. I want to start.
I don't know if he'd go that far, only because like the dopant thing is probably not something that happened right away, and that money's from when they were in a, you know, when they were like running the town for the gold.
Right.
So the money itself doesn't seem like it would work like, or like lean that way in my mind.
If he would feel betrayed by his grandmother, which is the only family he has left that we know about, because we don't. Are his parents dead?
Unclear. I'm going to assume yes. Otherwise, I would think they'd be involved here.
I'm just saying, like, even though his grandmother is the only family he may potentially have left, he will, like, turn on her lifestyle. I don't exactly can't formulate what I'm going on, but he might not want to continue the business, or like he'll change it in a way that it's not what it was with the grandmother's way of doing things, because
I was
like,
gonna say, as far as I'm aware, from what they've talked about, there doesn't seem to be a business anymore. It's just a leftover fortune.
I
That's
don't.
why the entire gold town is gone.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking of like, how will he like turn away from his grandmother? It's like, you're not my grandmother anymore. Like, you're a criminal now. How could you do this?
I mean, like, part of it would mean that he'd have to be betrayed. Then in what way is he really being betrayed?
The fact that his grandmother potentially set this up, if she's involved with the human experimentation portion of it.
That part maybe.
I don't know, but I guess we'll find out next time.
I guess we will.
Oh, and by the way, Ryu still makes delicious coffee.
I still don't understand why that's a thing.
I think that may be a reference to a radio show that was on the original series. Like, I think it was like Healing Princess, and since this is Healing Princess Neo, it's like Tokime took over for the old.
Like it's new or whatever, like Neo Japan or what have you from G Gundam.
Yeah.
I think it's still dumb. I think it's still a bad like what they're doing with it. I don't think is good. I'm like, can we go back to Mick the cat? He was
Yes.
funny. Picking on humanity is funny from a cat's perspective.
Yes.
Or any animal, really.
All right. Catch everybody next time.
Goodbye.